So this is the 10th generation 10.9-inch iPad in this real nice light blue color. And this is one of the more affordable iPads from Apple. So let's see if it's worth it in 2024. Alright, so design-wise, we get a much needed refresh from the 9th gen iPad, bringing the standard iPad lineup up to par with the Air and the Pro lineup of iPads. The boxier design is nice to look at and pretty ergonomic as well. I had no issues holding this iPad horizontally or vertically for longer periods of time. A cheap folio case from Amazon made it even easier to consume content like YouTube for even longer. You also get Touch ID on the top right of the chassis, which is responsive, feels great, and is easy to use. You also get a Type-C port, which is great because it feels modern and homogenizes your cable usage. Now the overall performance here has been great. You might notice a stutter here and there, but for the most part, performance was good. Even on some higher end games, the A14 chip coupled with 4 gigs of RAM still offers a solid experience. Navigating the UI felt good, switching in and out of apps felt fluid, but again, I did see a bit of lag here and there. Now the screen here isn't the best panel Apple has on offer, but it's still good. You get an LED True Tone display, which basically uses this iPad's built-in sensors to adjust the color and intensity of the display to match the surrounding ambient light so that colors to your eye feel more natural. This feature was great to have, and I think that for most use case scenarios like media consumption, gaming, reading, and note-taking, this screen is more than fine. I do wish the screen got a little brighter as it does peak out at 500 nits. Now the camera system here is fairly standard. You get a 12 megapixel f1.8 wide camera out the back, and I gotta say, the rear camera produces solid photos in good lighting and is a nice addition to have. Now the front-facing camera is a 12 megapixel f2.4 ultra wide. Now this is arguably the camera you'd be using the most, and it is solid. Firstly, because it is positioned in the landscape orientation, something that even the M1 Pro iPad failed to do, which makes it much better for those longer FaceTime or Zoom calls, and the picture quality itself is good. Now unfortunately, you don't get Apple Pencil to support, so you're stuck with the first gen Apple Pencil, which means you actually need to get an Apple USB-C to Apple Pencil adapter to actually pair the Gen 1 Apple Pencil to this iPad, which is just peak Apple stupidity. Luckily, you can get around this using cheap stylus alternatives widely found on Amazon. I picked this one up for around 20 bucks and it works just fine. The battery life on this iPad has been great, and part of this is because of the A14 chip in this iPad. Now while this iPad shares the same A14 Bionic chip as the 4th generation iPad Air, the chip in this iPad has been downclocked, and while that does limit performance slightly, it also allows for less power consumption and better heat management, and in turn allowing for better battery life. I've been able to get around 8 hours on this iPad with my moderate usage of about 2 hours a day, so I typically have been charging it around every 4 days. The speakers are passable, definitely a little lacking on the bass side of things. Here's a sample. So is the 10th gen iPad worth it in 2024? Well, honestly, yeah, I think it's actually a great buy in 2024. I think it's a great buy if you're someone who values media consumption, like Spotify, YouTube, streaming services for shows and movies, and if you're also someone that does casual tasks like responding to emails, I think this iPad is great for all of that. I also think this is a great option if you're a student looking to review course content, watch online lectures, take a couple notes down with a third-party stylus. I also think that this is a solid option for that too. Now on the flip side, if you are someone who's looking to do video editing, photo editing, graphic design, any form of content creation, then I think this might not be the iPad for you. Instead, I think that the 5th gen iPad Air will be a better option to look into. So there you have it. This has been my take on the 10th gen iPad from Apple. Like this video if you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing as it helps out my channel greatly. And yeah, comment down below what you think of Apple's 10th gen iPad and whether or not you're thinking of getting one. But yeah, for now it looks like we're out of time, so I'll catch you guys and girls in the next one.